I am Community Clo of Radio 1 Richmond and Central Virginia stations. And joining me is
Big Jagger from Radio 1 DC, Magic 102.3 and 92.7, and the rest of our morning show. How are you?
I am great. I like when you said and
And let's get it all in.
let's go. Welcome to Getting Real with Virginia Housing, the first of three virtual education sessions hosted by Virginia Housing to help you on your dream to home ownership. Again, I am Clovia Lawrence, Community Outreach Director, Multimedia Personality right here on Radio 1 Richmond stations. Now, we're going to be talking about learning how to avoid the hurdles to home ownership, gaining knowledge of Virginia housing, loans and grants, and much more. Let's welcome our two Virginia housing experts to the show. You ready, Vic?
I'm ready.
All right. Our first one is Joni Moncore with the Central Virginia Business. She's a Central Virginia Business Development Officer. She is a native Richmonder with a passion for helping first-time buyers. She has worked in mortgage originations in the Richmond market since 1986, and she has been with Virginia Housing since 2017. Welcome, Joni.
Thank you, Clovia. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, and I also want to welcome Regina Pinckney, Northern Virginia Business Development Officer. Okay, Regina dedicates herself to helping underserved segments of communities in Northern Virginia to attain affordable and sustainable home ownership. She has been in the mortgage industry since 2002. She's the OG in the game, okay? And has worked at Virginia Housing since 2017. And as a volunteer, she has taught countless homebuyer education classes in Alexandria, Arlington, and Fairfax and DC. Welcome, Regina. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Vic.
Did I get it all in?
You got it all in.
I was so glad I didn't have to do that long narrative. Gracious. But anyway, you got it. I want to welcome everybody joining us here today, Joni and Regina. So we're going to get started. We're going to have some real talk about Virginia housing. I believe in order for us to build generations of wealth, it starts with us owning our own homes and real estate. So who is Virginia Housing?
Well, Virginia Housing was set up in 1972 by the Virginia General Assembly, which, believe it or not, it was just a group of people down in a little tiny office. And within no time, we are on Belvedere Street with over 400 employees. And our mission is to help Virginians attain affordable housing. And let me tell you what, guys. We mean it. We have a homeownership division. We have a multifamily division. We have a rental division. And through all of that, we have all this reach money that we really send out to the communities, encouraging homeownership. And last year, you ready for this? Last year, we helped over 9,000 families in the state of Virginia.
In the midst of a global pandemic.
We had an incredible year last year, and we have wonderful lending partners, and Virginia Housing is just the best. So we've got wonderful programs that we're going to talk about today. So love the company or authority, excuse me, and they do great things in the community.
Wow, it sounds great.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to talk about the hurdles of home ownership. Now, I know that as a home buyer, my second time was better than my first. My first, I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't have the right people around me. I didn't have the right information. Yeah. But the second time around, we did it. Okay, so let's talk about some of the most common hurdles in home ownership.
Well, the biggest hurdle right now is the wealth gap and the home ownership gap between Black and Indigenous and people of color in America, between them and our white neighbors. So we have about 10% of the wealth of our white neighbors in this country, and we all know that wealth is developed through real estate, right? That's the primary way we develop real wealth in America. And so Virginia Housing has been working with other partners in the community who know the community needs. They know what's happening, like the NAACP. We are partnering with them with homeownership events to spread the word that it is possible. We're also working with the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers Association. to get real needs assessed and find out how our programs can help. I used to be a lender. So what I found is for the communities that I served, which were generally low and moderate income earners, um, was that they told themselves no. They felt it was too scary, too vulnerable. They just said, oh, my credit's not good enough. Oh, I don't have enough money. I don't make enough money. But that's the biggest hurdle, I think, is telling yourself no, because trying is free. Applying is free. Nobody should be charging you money to apply for a mortgage. And so you just have to be willing to be vulnerable and do your homework, right? And prepare yourself. And so,
ways that you can prepare yourself. Virginia Housing offers free, let me say it again, free home buyer education classes.
Wait, Joni, hold on. Say it
Okay.
one more time. One
more time. Free.
Free.
Free. So it doesn't cost you anything. Okay. A little bit of time. All right. You go to virginiahousing.com, and in the little search bar, you can type in, home buyer education. And it's an 8-part class. You can take one part one night and take another for the next 8 nights, or you can do it all in one sitting. But what I used to be a loan officer as well, and what Regina and I have found out is, and I don't mean to speak for Regina, but we know that education is empowering.
Yeah.
And if you have the confidence you need to go out there and question, hey, is this the right thing for me? And why are you showing me this, et cetera, et cetera. And getting that home buyer education class will give you lots of knowledge to do just that. And it's good for 2 years. The certificate's good for 2 years. So you may not be ready to buy today. You may be ready in 6 months. You may be ready in a year and 6 months. But the certificate will take you through for 2 years. And it's lots of good knowledge. And it will teach you kind of what to expect during this whole process. Because as Vic said, it was a little bit easier a second time around to know what to expect. You know? So we just want to help everybody understand what they need to do to get through the process and to begin the process.
Yeah.
And talk about the teams. Like, we have a whole team of people. I said we, like, I'm part of the team. Okay.
Yeah.
You are.
Because there are some major players involved that people may not know. So can you talk about that?
Your team is how you avoid a lot of the hurdles to home ownership.
Yeah.
By building your team. One, you have to realize that if you're not a professional in the industry, and even if you are, it's not best to do it on your own.
Yeah.
You have to take your first time home buyer class, and then that's going to give you the information, the language of the lender, what to expect in the contract, so that you interview your team. Just because a lender says they'll help you doesn't mean that they're the right lender for you. So you interview them. The class you take is going to help you develop the questions you're going to use to interview your lender, right? Your loan officer. And then you're going to have a licensed real estate agent. So the loan officer helps you get the money, get pre-qualified, get approved, and then get the money to meet you at the table for the loan. The real estate agent, licensed real estate agent, is the person who helps you navigate the purchasing process.
Regina, I want to interrupt you right there.
Yes.
The key word was licensed.
Licensed
real estate agent.
You're licensed real estate agent.
I've had a couple of friends who ran into some agents that weren't licensed and they lost their property.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
it can be very dangerous. Yeah. Exactly. So you want to make sure that you're dealing with experts in the industry who have done what they need to be able to legally help you do a contract. Because when you're buying a house, you're writing a legally binding contract.
Absolutely.
So you want someone who is allowed to help you do that legally. And so licensing is the minimum you look for, right?
Right.
Okay. So you've got your loan officer, you've got your real estate agent licensed. And then I always recommend it to my clients, especially my first-time home buyers, a HUD-approved housing counselor.
Okay.
They are my favorite. One, They want to help you whether you can buy a home or not. They will help you prepare to buy a home. They will be there with you through the process. If there's something your lender doesn't quite know how to explain for you, you go to your housing counselor and you discuss it. Housing counselors are trained with the language of the lender, the understanding of the real estate process, but they're also trained to hold your hand and help you throughout that process. And they're there to help you. Again, Joni, what's your favorite word?
Free.
They help you for free.
And she was like, free.
That's my favorite word.
Yes,
Me too.
yes.
Free.
But I want stuff that's free with value. Free with value.
Oh, that's good, Chloe. Free.
Exactly.
With value.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they help you for free, right? And they're there for you even after you close and get the keys to your home. Life happens. You lose your job or something like that. Call your housing counselor. Ask them how you're going to navigate this next phase. So that's really your team. And taking our class will tell you what to expect from each member.
All right. So viewers, I'm hoping you are really all into this and check out the websites and get started. And home ownership is a process, and you got to identify your needs versus your wants to start the process. So if you got it interchangeable, we're going to have some issues and challenges. So we want all of us to get home ownership. I believe it's real talk about real estate. And once you have real estate, for me, it's like you have a voice. You belong. You make changes within your community, wherever the community may be. All right, y'all, we're going to move over to FHA loans, conventional loans, and credit scores. What should we know?
Well, there's a lot we should know.
Yeah.
But let's talk about
And
FHA
Joni said,
loans.
yeah, me too.
It is. And so that's why your team is so important, because you need your professionals on your team to have this information in their brains, not to learn along with you. So FHA loans, that's the Federal Housing Administration. Those loans were created to make homeownership accessible to more Americans. Unfortunately, many Americans, particularly Black, Indigenous, and people of color, have not had that success with getting that access to the loan through the program. But it works. It is a loan that we are trying to use now to help everyone that wants to buy a home. It's the loan that kind of meets you where you are. Your credit has a few dings, or you may have some late payments and things like that. It meets you where you are with the kind of common sense understanding that if the mortgage is conservative, you can pay the mortgage the same way you pay your rent. If you pay your rent on time, have a little savings, you can have a 620 credit score, and that's not a high score, but you can have a 620 credit score and still use FHA financing. And then for those who have higher scores, they may use a conventional loan program. And a conventional loan differs because, one, it's not insured by the federal government. You would have to have a private mortgage insurance policy along with that conventional loan if you didn't put 20% down. But a conventional loan has the expectation that you would have higher credit scores. It also has the expectation that you may have more money in the bank after you go to closing and get the keys.
Right.
So again, one of the hurdles that we've encountered in lending is misinformation. And too many people are being put in an FHA loan, which is in general a higher cost loan because of the mortgage insurance. Right? You have a higher mortgage insurance because your credit scores are lower. But sometimes, and we've seen it, where lenders are putting people with 700 and 800 credit scores in an FHA loan because it suits the lender. And so the hurdle is, remember, as a consumer, you're the driver. Anything you don't understand, the professionals on your team should be able to help you understand.
There it is. Yes.
The professional license.
Yes.
Yes.
License.
Yes.
Okay.
For free.
Not free professionals.
All the way free.
Doing it for a while.
Okay, because honestly, for free, nobody in this process should be charging a borrower money up front.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
There are.
when I say asking is free or looking is free, it's free.
Yeah. Good.
And a good loan officer can help a borrower who has some depressed credit score and maybe is using, fixed into an FHA, but a good loan officer can look at it and quickly do an analysis as to whether or not they can help them get their credit score up.
Mhm.
Okay. And that can reduce their loan interest rate sometimes, lower their private mortgage insurance. So, and that's what one of the education pieces of the homeownership education, it will give people the power and the knowledge to ask those questions. So, they should be given options. Are you just giving them an FHA option? And as a buyer out there, you should say, well, is there another loan that I could work with as well? Um, yeah, we offer, I consider Virginia Housing kind of a big umbrella in all of our loans. And we also have loans for veterans. So if you've been in the military, and you can use our assistance with a VA loan. And not everybody wants to live in a city or the suburbs. They might want to live out a little way. And so we also allow USDA loans, rural housing loans. So if there's somebody, and those loans, quite frankly, Virginia Housing will do a veterans loan and a USDA loan, and they're 100% financing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you may not want, I'm a city girl, but not everybody's a city girl. You
I'm
might
a
want,
city girl too, Joni.
yeah.
I don't know. It's looking real green on the outside. I don't,
I'm a city girl, but I decided to buy a little bit further out. But, I love this platform. I love what we're doing because, like I said, I didn't have the information. I did not know. And, you get a little bit of information from this person that bought a house before, but maybe they bought a house 10 years ago. And so things have changed,
Mhm.
since then. One of the things I am excited about are the specialized programs. We're talking down payment assistance. We're talking about closing costs assistance and things like that. So let's get into it because that is
Uh,
something that is very important.
All
Well,
right, Shirley,
I know,
your favorite word.
favorite word, free, 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 free.
and you
um,
said like you mean it too.
I, you know, I, our, I think Virginia Housing's grants are some of the best out there. We're a housing finance
Really
agency,
are.
so listen up. We These are forgivable grants. So when I say free, I really do mean it. So
Mhm.
a lot of grants out there, after people close, there's a lien placed against the property, and they might have 5 or 10 years in which if they move, they might have to pay them back. So our grants will assist you on closing costs. If you do one of those 100% financing, we have a closing cost grant. So if you get the VA or the USDA loan, since it doesn't require a down payment, will give 2% towards the closing costs. So if you're buying a $250,000 house, well, what is that? 2 times 25 is $5,000, right? Towards closing costs. If you're doing a loan, an FHA loan or a conventional loan, we have a down payment grant. So you can put, I think, 1% of your own money down, and then we will give you the other 2% or 2.5% towards the down payment. So we have income limits for that. And we have those charts on our website at virginiahousing.com. And you can go in, and if you happen to exceed those income limits, we have another option for you, which,
There's
which
more.
there's more. We have a 30-year fixed rate second mortgage. Okay. So you can get a plus second mortgage. So you can have a first mortgage, a FHA first mortgage at 96.5% of the value of the house. And then we will lend you enough money that you don't have to put any money down. It's 100% financing. But those are the down payment assistance. And then, we got more. We got
We
more.
do. We
Yeah.
do have more. One of the programs that I love that people are honestly sleeping on is our mortgage credit certificate, our MCC. For every eligible first-time home buyer we serve, they are allowed to request the MCC, the mortgage credit certificate. It will be attached to their loan for free.
Hmm.
Many other housing finance agencies actually charge borrowers for it. We do not. We give it to you for free. And what it does is we give you our grants up front. We give you our lower interest rates up front. And then the MCC helps you after closing. And what it does is it takes 10% of the interest you pay in interest on your mortgage it converts it to a dollar for dollar federal income tax credit. So if you pay $20,000 worth of interest on your mortgage in a year,
Okay.
$2,000 of it becomes a tax credit that gets lopped off of dollar for dollar your tax liability for your federal taxes.
Okay, Regina, now you bring people on to something.
Okay.
VirginiaHousing.com.
Yes. Come see us.
Yeah.
So now you got all your grants, you close, and you got your MCC. You get this 2,000. You get to use the MCC every year that you live in the home for the life of the loan.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if you itemize, you still get to deduct the other 90%.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is
If you don't itemize, you get the credit anyway. If you do itemize, you can take the credit and the deduction as your tax professional will advise you.
Yeah.
Advise you.
Yes.
Your professional tax professional.
And then I have two more things I have to tell you about. One is Spark. Spark is sponsoring Spark is a program. I'm sorry, I get excited about it. I love it.
Girl, I'm excited for you. I was like, what's Spark?
It's a free 1% interest rate reduction. A free 1% interest rate reduction. Joni, what is it?
It's free.
All right.
It's
Now,
free.
so if today's rate
You
is
said it's all at the same time.
if today's rate is 3.5, and you are working with a authorized Virginia Housing approved eligible lender, and you say, hey, can you see if there's Spark available for me? I want to buy a home in Fairfax County, Virginia. If today's rate is 3.5, and Fairfax County has funds available to reduce your interest rate because it's first come, first serve, then your interest rate will go down to 2.5%, 30 years fixed, no extra fees. The loan officer and lending company still gets their full income.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
all right.
So
I
got one quick question before we go on to the other question that I'm supposed to be following the script. Regina, were these same services available prior to COVID?
Yes.
Yes.
I used Spark 20 years ago as a loan officer.
Oh.
Yes. And yes. So the thing is that people don't know, and people who do know don't talk about it enough.
Well, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about it over and over on the radio. And while you're watching us here right now, I think this is the greatest information we could ever get when it comes to home ownership, when we're talking about the African American community, our Black and Brown community, and as well. All right.
Absolutely.
So we've been talking about all of the specifics. You're breaking it down, and we're like, woo, what? 9,000 people were assisted with home ownership. Let's talk about the specifics of this. Viewers want to know about the Virginia housing, the folks that you've helped in Virginia. So can you give us some specifics and examples?
Yeah, I pulled one up today, and I do have to look at my notes. And this is a single. Well, I'll just tell you something off of my notes here. We have the first container home here in Richmond, and we helped this container home be built from Indie Dwell, and they brought it across the country. And there was a lot over in I want to say Blackwell area, but I don't think that's right. It's a different area. But anyway, a single mom. Manchester district. There we go. So Virginia Housing, helped bring this. You can Google it. This container home. So it was 3 or 4 bedrooms with, I think 2 or 3 baths. A very nice house. Made it look like it was part of the community. And it was a single mom with a couple of children. And one of our approved lenders did the loan for it, and I believe they received a grant as well. So that's a success story.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Just incredible. And I was just looking at a loan. So a $270,000 sales price. All right. Well, let's talk numbers for a minute. If you did an FHA loan, The down payment is 3.5%. That's $9,450. Okay, that seems a little daunting sometimes, plus closing cost. So our grant is 2.5% of that sales price. So our grant is $6,750.
Whoa.
Did I tell you that's free money?
Yeah.
Free.
It's
Free.
free money that you don't have to pay back for the
You-
down payment on your new house.
Exactly. So it's 6,750. So you do, if you use our grant, you do have to provide 1% of your own money. So on a $270,000 house, that's $2,700. We give you the other part of the down payment, and if you can get the seller to pay some closing costs, you can virtually get into a house for 1 to 2% of the sales
Yeah.
price. So
That 1% sounds better than having to do
Yeah.
20%, down
exactly.
For your own money.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would take 1% any day.
Yeah.
Here, here.
And if you use our plus second,
Yeah, go
you
ahead. Talk about the plus second mortgage.
our plus second mortgage is amazing. We have lower income limits for our grant money, but if you make too much money for the grant, you can still get 100% financing from us because we have that second mortgage that's at the same interest rate as the first mortgage, and they're both 30 years fixed with no prepayment penalty or anything like that attached. So you can pay double on that little latte payment that's on the second trust, right? The beer and avocado toast payment. You can pay that double if you want to, but you don't have to, right? And then you can ask for our loan combo, because when you get our loan combo, you get the education, right? You get the grant or the second trust. You can ask for Spark and the MCC. And that's what we really want lenders to do, consumers to do, is to ask lenders for everything we offer. Stack all those benefits up. As a first-time home buyer, this is your only chance where, like you said, people are going to literally give you cash and forgive it when you get the keys to your first home to help you buy it.
And you get the keys.
It is that is just the best thing ever. Now, we've covered a lot, okay? Is there anything that you can think of, Regina and Joni, that you want to let first-time home buyers know? Is there anything that we didn't cover, any information that we may have missed, anything that you want to get them excited about aside from being free? I think that is
That's it.
That's so me.
That's the wrap.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to what Regina was saying at the very beginning. Don't say no to yourself.
Yeah.
The people feel, I think I always say this, like they're naked when they go in to see a loan officer. They've got their tax returns or their bank statements or pay stubs, and everybody hates to talk about credit. But that's why you've done the interview process to find the right lender for you, and you want to feel comfortable, and they are there to help you. We have approved lenders, and to find those approved lenders, you'd go to virginiahousing.com and just look up approved lenders, and there's a whole list for the entire state, and they're good people. Most of those lenders are good lenders.
And I would say, like Joni said, don't tell yourself no. Remember that you are driving this operation, that you don't have to sign anything you don't understand. You don't have to endure anything that you don't want to endure. You drive. Because I think we forget that. We feel so lucky that somebody said yes to us that we don't necessarily get the best treatment all the time. So remember your power as a consumer. I would say be patient and ask the lender for other programs. Because one of the things that I loved about Virginia Housing when I was doing loans in the community is that it pairs well with locality grants and state grants. And a good loan officer will know how to, or learn how to for you, how to stack those things and make your application a yes.
Wow, this is great stuff.
Love that.
I love it.
So
oh, wait a minute. Go ahead on, Vic. No.
I just want to know. People want to know. They're ready to sign up. They're ready to get in contact with you guys. So give them the best way to get in contact with Virginia Housing.
Well, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook, and our handle is Virginia Housing. And you can also find us on our website at virginiahousing.com. Everything you want to know about us is there, including find a lender, find homebuyer education, and phone numbers if you need to call for questions.
Lots of great information has been shared this evening, from grants, down payment assistance, closing costs, credit scores, FHA loans, conventional loans, and so on and so on. Free
Was
Free.
the word.
The word of the day.
Yes.
Just go to virginiahousing.com.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to the Virginia Housing team. We want to thank Joni Moncore for joining us, Business Development Officer, the Richmond and Central Region, and also Regina Pinckney, our Business Development Officer for the Northern Virginia region. Thank you so much. And thank you to the viewers. You know, we had a lot of great information. You guys had some real gems, because like I said, my first time around, I did not have all of this information. So make sure you like and follow Virginia Housing and our stations on Facebook to get updates on the next session, because we got some more coming for you.
Absolutely coming. And we're going to have real talk about real estate, and it can be yours. I am Community Chloe of Radio 1 Richmond. God bless you, and thank you for watching.
And I'm Vic Jagger with Magic 102.3 and 92.7. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.